Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy KRS. Today, I'm going to talk about Fury Warrior. Now, this is something that I've said for a long time. Fury Warrior is dog shit. It is terrible. Don't mind my voice, I'm sick right now. It is utterly terrible. Let me explain why. Now, before I explain why, I'm going to get into a little story. So, I was in the Dragonflight beta and alpha. What they did to Fury Warrior, they gave you Die by the Sword, and if I remember right, they also gave you Blade Storm. Because they basically, they threw in, you avatar, you get Blade Storm, right? They did the Shadowlands Signet Ring or whatever it was. Very good. But then they got rid of that. And then they nerfed the healing, which, fine. They nerfed Crushing Blow, okay. They also nerfed Warpaint. You take 10% less or reduced damage while enraged. That's 5%. So, okay, as a Fury Warrior, you're almost stuck sitting D stance the entire game. Your Crushing Blow doesn't charge you to the target anymore. I get that. It was too OP. You had shitty... Fury Warrior was too mobile. Got it. But now it's so it's, what is it, 20, 30% nerf in PvP? It's doing almost no damage. I mean, it's doing, I guess, fine enough. But this is what a Fury Warrior's damage looks like. And this is including some cleave. So, Odin's, Rampage, 67 casts. They buffed Rampage so much to try to make Fury Warrior, playable. And then they, I think they, what is that tier? Yeah, even Odin's Fury is pretty good. Execute, they buffed Execute. Execute damage is really good. But Crushing Blow is terrible. Raging Blow is terrible. And you can say, well, that's empowered. So really, Raging Blow did 3 million. So it's sitting like way above Odin's Fury. The problem, though, is when you're a Fury Warrior, you need damage. You need huge, big damage as a Fury Warrior. That's all you have. That's the only thing you have, and a 36% Mortal Strike. That's it. You don't have Die by the Sword, you don't have Blade Storm, you have no way to stop a go, unless if you knock them out of the stealth, and they don't Shadow Step behind you and kidney you, or disarm you, like any class. Monks, you burst, disarm instantly. You can't sweeping, sharpen, CS, Blade Storm on all their cooldowns, and they threw like a blades, they threw their disarm into your Blade Storm. It's stuff like that. Like, you could say, well, they can kite. Well, you can run Storm of Destruction now. It's 33%, they're slowed by 70%. I mean, they can't roll out of it. They can run away, but still, you're still doing a ton of damage because they have, Ren, Deep Wounds, Avatar, Colossus Smash, the modifier from Dragon Roar itself with, I think, what is it, Thunderous Words? Yeah. So increases your blade damage by 15%. And I think it's Bloodborne, same thing for Fury and Arms. It's just, like, even with Fury, you could do something like Ravager, but, in Storm of Destruction into, like, a melee comp. But let's be real, most people, they just walk straight out of it. Lower rating, it can actually do quite a bit of damage. I would say like 2K, 2100. A lot of people still just don't move. It feels like a lot of priests kind of stay out in the open. A lot of hunters. It can be good into hunters, though. If you throw it on top of them and they don't have a freedom and you're trying to connect, it can be clutch for a few things, but not always the best thing. Especially if you're not in range, because you lose out on like 56% damage. Basically, the way I'm geared out, full mastery, full haste, full burst, socketed all the way. But you have no way to stop a go. You're super squishy. And what they could do is buff all the healing, and then, people will complain, and then they'll nerf it. But the problem with Fury and the problem with Arms is the reason why Arms falls off is because normally it's not that mobile as Fury, and then as soon as like spells and wizard type comps like MLP, stuff like that starts to become good, is Fury has things like Blood Rage to get out of roots, to just stay super mobile. It moves a little faster. It just what is it, like 30% more movement speed over Fury, so you're a little bit faster, so you have an easier time staying on the target. Um, so that's one thing. But the thing is even with arms, with the way the two set works, and I'll explain it to you. So the way that a lot of arms warriors abuse it is, I wouldn't even say it's abusing, but it's, just kind of their toolkit now, where with this tier set, it's actually buffed arms mobility, and has actually made it a lot better. So Ren damage increased by 30%, and sudden death can be triggered by Ren's bleed damage. So if I have that on two targets, say I'm fighting a Warlock, I gotta reload here. But basically, you can go in, and I know the target dummy, but I have a little indicator for the thing. Okay, so there's one. We'll just, go throughout our normal rotation. Okay, I'm gonna use my thing, my burst damage with Skull Bash. What you can see is even if they get low, I mean, that's about 6 seconds. So it's literally just Raging Blow. Yep, another proc. Out of range, out of range. I mean, it's only a 15-yard range, but that's usually all you need sometimes. Oh, there's another one. Now, if I put this on all these targets here, now I should proc a lot more. Especially if I put deep wounds on that. Yep, there it is. I should get another sudden death here shortly. And I do have 24% haste. I need to stack more haste for arms. I think. Let's see. I got a haste belt. But if you can see what I'm saying now, where if your arms, you have more mobility, you have more damage, you have more burst damage, you have more burst potential, and you have sharpen, and you're completely immune to everything when you burst. You can say, well, you can run a huge one-shot and run recklessness. There's no point. Blade Storm does so much of your damage. It's better to have 2 charges of Blade Storm to get out of roots and stay mobile and stay on the target and stay connected, because you're not doing damage from 20 yards away. You're doing damage by being right up in their face, kicking them, stunning them, throwing a Storm Bolt at their healer and doing fucking huge damage. You can literally burst, use your Blade Storm on your avatar, that your sharpened blade falls off, and immediately Mortal Strike them, toss a Storm Bolt at their healer, and by that time, if they already haven't popped cooldowns, they're popping everything they have. Because now you've just put down like 7 seconds of basically a 50% CC, because you reduced their healing by 50%. You've reduced their ability to respond, unless if it's a Warlock, then they should be fine. But you also, if you're running threes, you have another teammate. So that followed with that extra CC, or if you have a ret, and then they hodge the healer into a blind or a rep or whatever it is, you've still put up so much more forward momentum into ending the game and getting defensives over Fury, because you have to run so much haste and so much mastery where you could actually make yourself squishier by running less versatility and being a glass cannon, but Fury already struggles with surviving. You can't stop and go. You have to either A, stun it, prevent it, but there's no way to Blade Storm it. That's the one thing with Warriors, why everyone complains about Arms Warriors, is we have 2 Blade Storms. We are immune when we burst. So, it's where even a Demon Hunter can still be rooted and stopped. A Warrior, you can't really root a Warrior very good. But even like a Fury Warrior, actually Fury does better with roots. It actually does a little better than Hunter comps. But that's about it. Everything else, Fury suffers. But even then, Fury, you just get trained to the ground, man. Even arms you do, but even with Fury, you don't have anything special because you either A have to run full POs for yourself or healing to sustain yourself, and that's really all you got. And a lot of people queue with a warrior for the utility, and that's the major problem with Fury is you need to run the PvP talent slaughterhouse. They just need to make a baseline, make it 25% or whatever. But this where you absolutely have two talents that are almost lock in every game for battle trance, so you just don't lose the game. Oh man, it does not feel good. I mean, I guess you can run man cleave and run with a warrior, run with a windwalker, run with a hunter, but at the end of the day, there is a reason why Fury's not up, being B and A tier or even S tier. It's because of that, because you can't stop any goes. You have no way to stop a go from using, die by the sword. I mean, you can still get stunned and die by the sword, but it's mitigated. Because even then, most comps, or, if you reflect a Hodge, but even if a warrior stuns you and you reflect the Hodge, and the ret gets dispelled, but your healer's, storm bolted, they can still global you in 3 seconds and you're dead. And they can still stun you. Of course, you can still wall it, but there's no way to stop it as where you can with parry. But anyway, I wanted to give an explanation as to why Fury Warrior is D tier and what Blizzard needs to do. Give us tie by sword back, make Mortal Strike fucking baseline, even if it's 25%. I hate the 3 stacks of Rampage I have to do on any one target or run improved fucking whatever this is, because they went full AoE, full Bloodthirst, and this is what makes Fury like any good, because you got utility, your heal, invigorating Fury, shit like that, and it's like, okay, well, you lose all the value of this. Without this, you lose a ton of single target damage going full in an Annihilator, because you lose all these talents. You lose the execute damage. In all reality, of course, you can still run sudden death, but then your slaughtering strikes is very low, because Annihilator, it's only like 2% instead of 20 per Rampage, so it's like, it's either do bitch sustain or do huge chunk damage with onslaught and everything else, so you can still run onslaught. There's no point. Just run slam. It hits just as hard, if not as, it's, you say, well, you can run it both. Again, you don't have any in-range problems with Bloodthirst. You have in-range problems with this spec as well. Because if you're not able to stay connected to a target, guess what? Warpaint's useless. Your damage is useless. Of course, there might be some things with Fury Warrior that they could fix. They could give us Stab by Sword baseline. They could get rid of this talent. Just put, make Warpaint baseline and give us Stab by Sword here. That would be a lot better than getting rid of that. Now it's only 15% in PvP. I thought it was 20. But, you guys have a good one. I wanted to explain why Fury Warrior is so dog shit in this patch. And hopefully you guys can, tell Blizzard to give us 40% nerf so DH can remain strong. Anyway, you guys have a good one, and thank you.